Billionaires before they made their first million. It is no rocket science that earning the first million is perhaps more difficult. To become a billionaire, you first need to turn a millionaire, which is by no means easy. On the contrary, earning your first million could take longer than usual. Some of the richest people in the world had a hard time earning their first million. However, this difficulty never deterred them from going for what they intended. People that we know as billionaires started small. It took them years and in some cases decades to become billionaires. There were those that reached the milestone of first million rather quickly, but most on the list took several years to make a fortune. From Elon Musk to Bill Gates, they all started slow and slowly built their business empires over a span of many years. It must be noted that some billionaires hit their first million in a few years, while others took decades. There are countless examples where people struggled to get to their first million. In the hindsight, it only shows their devotion and the will to rise above the rest. It is worth noting that some of the top billionaires of today once struggled to meet ends in life. Even more interesting is that after making their first million, the road to becoming a billionaire became relatively easy. It would be interesting to know when and how the richest of today earned their first million. Mukesh Ambani. He is an entrepreneur from an industrial background and inherited a fortune from his father. Currently, he is the chairperson and direction of Reliance Industries India and is among the richest in the world. He became a millionaire at an early age during a time when he spearheaded the company's efforts to acquire refineries and plants across the country. Due to the sudden demise of his father and the absence of a will, he had disputes with his brother Anil over the distribution of their father's business empire. Both brothers settled the feud by splitting businesses, with Mukesh retaining control over oil and gas, petrochemical and textile operations. It is worth noting that they finally settled the feud and signed a pact for laying a $200 million optic fiber connecting their companies. Pierre OReilly. He comes across as one of the pre-dot-com era bubble billionaires who enjoyed the status thoroughly. He was the founder of the eBay and had a net worth of $18 billion. He served as the company's chairperson until 2015. Keep in mind that he had become a billionaire as early as 1998 when he had big plans for the company. Gary Winnick. He was a financier who showed interest in founding his own company by the name Global Crossing. The company was the first privately held company to fund what would be the first transatlantic optic fiber cable with an investment of $15 million. The company fell to the bursting of the dot-com bubble and filed for bankruptcy in 2002, which reduced Winnick from a billionaire to just a millionaire. Larry Ellison. If you have anything to do with computers, then Oracle may not be very unfamiliar to you. The man who founded the Oracle, Larry Ellison, is known the world over. Despite experiencing early success as an entrepreneur, Ellison did not make his first million until he was 42 and the year was 1986. Interestingly, he entered the billionaire club 7 years later when he was 49. His company did well onwards and does so to this day. The rapid growth of his company ensured that his wealth grew exponentially. Now Ellison's current net worth has exceeded $47 billion. Meg Whitman. Whitman began her career at an early age and had many stints as a leader. She is perhaps better known as the former CEO of eBay. Currently, she is the CEO of Hewlett-Packard. With her expertise and hard work, she turned into a millionaire by the time she turned 40. Only 2 years later, she decided to take eBay to the public and made her first $1 billion shortly afterward. As of today, Whitman has an estimated net worth of $1.9 billion. Denise Code. Denise Code is the CEO of Bet365, the famous online gambling firm that is in business since 2005. Despite the success of her business, she had turned 38 by the time she made her first million. This happened when she sold her company for approximately $40 million. She maintained a 50% stake in the company that allowed her to become a billionaire when she was 47. George Lucas. Lucas was a little-known name before he launched the highly popular movie series Star Wars. The series was well received and quickly became a household name all over the world. Some of the episodes attained tremendous popularity among fans. Star Wars became a popular franchise, with Lucas forming his own company, Lucasfilms, in 1978. Walt Disney bought Lucasfilms in 2012 for $4.05 billion. It is worth noting that Lucas had become a millionaire at the age of 34. The deal with Walt Disney helped him join the elite club of billionaires, as his net worth reached just over $4 billion. Eduardo Saverin. Eduardo Saverin had an intense argument with Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and was fired from the company in 2005. The story formed a conspiracy in the middle of the 2010 film The Social Network, despite the fact that homeowners complained about this injustice, his life. In the end, however, Saverin was not much harmed. Following the controversy, it acquired a 5% stake in Facebook in 2010, valued at $1.15 billion. It has since launched its own capital fund, B Capital, and today it is valued at $12.9 billion. Chengwei. He is Alibaba's chief executive, introduced Didi Choking's first effective program to Didi Duchess, and it first appeared in 2012. With 550 million users by the year 2019, this has become the Chinese reaction of Chinese buy-in company Uber in the business process. Cheng is now valued at $1.2 billion. Van Spiegel and Bobby Murphy. Evan Spiegel, the founder of Snapchat, came up with the idea for a photo-sharing program that disappeared during a class at Stanford University in 2011. And Snapchat was born the same year later with classmates Reggie Brown and Bobby Murphy. Brown was fired in the early days, but Spiegel and Murphy succeeded in that idea, beating the Forbes World Billionaires list in 2015, becoming the first billionaire from the app in 2014. Spiegel currently spends $8.8 billion, while Murphy currently has assets of $1 billion. Colin Huang. Colin Huang has seen a sharp rise in millions of polls. Huang made the first $1 billion in 2019, 4 years after launching its highly successful e-commerce business, Pinduoduo. However, this year, Huang was named China's richest man by Forbes in June with $4 billion. Unlike many billions, the epidemic has taken Huang by surprise, and the former Google and Microsoft company, which was sold to Pinduoduo, saw its assets increase by 18 billion between March and May this year alone. Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg's big grip on Facebook made him a 23-year-old millionaire, the youngest millionaire to take part in a fortune before Kylie Jenner took power. Zuckerberg first appeared on Forbes' World Billionaire list in 2008 with his current budget of $1.3 billion. Today, the social network has become the main financial aid organizer. Jeff Bezos. Much like others in the list, Bezos had humble beginnings as well. He once suggested to his former employer to start an online bookstore. The employer dropped the idea, but Bezos did not. His company, Amazon, sold books online for many years until he decided to expand its portfolio. Jeff Bezos founded Amazon's largest e-commerce company in 1994 and launched the website the following year. With the advent of bookstores, online shopping became public in 1997, and owner Bezos entered Forbes' 10 billion annual list in 1998 for $10.1 billion. Bezos is now the second richest man in the world, and the coronavirus epidemic has become a major headline after its gross domestic product increased by about 35 billion to 166.3 billion. Writing time. Experts say Bezos is on track to become the first trillionaire by 2026.